No, we don't.
No. 36 people watching.
And YouTube pooed up.
This is ridiculous.
Donkulous.
So, YouTube. 36 people watching. Right. We're live.
And YouTube.
36 people watching.
Yes!
Yes!
Yay!
Sorry about that, folks.
Dad, high five.
I don't know what YouTube... Thank you. Hello. Yes.
Oh,
right. Apologies about that. I honestly thought we might have to cancel the show. They've decided they're going to change how they do live streaming, and 36 people watching. Right.
You need to mute that.
We're live.
Did you?
Pause that. So, we're live at least. Hello, folks. 6 minutes past 9.
Sadly.
We did it. We did it.
I was counting down the minutes.
I know.
And YouTube screwed us up.
I know. Right. There we go. What a palaver. I'll tell you what. I don't know. It'd be nice for them to just, let you know when they mess around with things. Right, I am opening the Google Doc now, so if you've got any terrain-related questions, you can shoot them over to me on the Google Doc. Yeah, the link is down in the description, and it is open.
Hopefully.
And waiting for questions right now. Now, I see a good, says 12 of you there, but I know there's more than that. Right.
Where are my 12 friends?
ZB is... Use a bigger hammer on YouTube. You're watching. I think that's on YouTube, and then we've got... it says 44 on the screen, doesn't it? 4 on Twitch. We'll have some on Facebook as well. Yeah. I see people are starting to come in now. We took the photos before we went, didn't we? And we decided as the wargaming show you wanted to go to. Yeah. It wasn't really... I think we took, I noticed Tam's advice, which was the terrain is very much tournament terrain, which is nice stuff, but it's not really what we're looking. Hey, Kevin? Yeah. And so we decided not to go, but we do need another show to go to, don't we?
Yeah, it's my turn to go to a show.
Yeah, it's your turn to go to a show, so... Yeah, we'll have to find one.
Oh, now Facebook is playing up.
Why? What's on Facebook?
Oh, no.
I haven't touched Facebook. I don't know where it's been recently.
Dave, come to YouTube.
Yeah, come over to YouTube. It seems to be working on YouTube.
Hopefully. Still haven't got my notification that you've gone live.
Have you not?
No. Let me check my phone.
In fact, have I had a notification that I've gone live?
What? No, I haven't.
I have on Facebook, but not on YouTube. Right, just remember this is a Q&A show. I need some questions, guys.
Dad, it still says that you're not up.
Great.
Let me refresh the page.
Well, people are chatting with me, so that'll do. Absolutely love your vids, buddy. Totally inspired me to start modelling. Would you consider doing tutorials on plaster modelling? It's not something I really do, mate, to be truthful.
But no, I never got the notification. That's why it says there are 12 people.
You could have gone to the other partisan at Newark today. I had things on today, to be perfectly honest.
Sleeping. Bike ride.
Yeah.
More sleeping.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, look, YouTube Events is actually registering online for once. That's new. It hasn't done that for a couple of weeks. Yeah, and it's saying 50 people are watching. So I'm going to take that as a good sign.
It says 48.
Yeah, well, 50, 48, that'll do. Yeah. So, yeah, we didn't do the other partisan. Colours at Newbury Racecourse. Where's Newbury? Where's Newbury Racecourse? Do you know, Wills?
Maybe it's new, and it's in a Bury, and it's a racecourse. Oh, wait, no, it's horse riding.
Well, of course it is. Berkshire, that's down south. That's way down south. How far down south is Berkshire?
far down south.
Down Reading. Oh, it's down. It's that there, London town. It's that far down. That's way too far for us for a war game show. For a day jolly, anyway.
Get one in ventilation.
Okay, I've got questions coming in now. I've got one from Neil. Yeah, keep them coming, guys. Once I've got a few, I'll start answering them. Tam's saying it's usually a good show. It's a long drive, to be truthful, for us. We need to find something up in the Midlands, don't we?
Don't like horses.
Do you not like horses? Tiberius is saying he's pretty sure that a Newbury racecourse is in Newbury. Nice one, Tiberius.
No, I thought it was new. In a worry.
DJ Red, hello, buddy. Pete got a notification for YouTube. That's a good sign.
Did anyone else? Because, like, we're the two manager and accomplice.
Yeah, Peter's saying he tried the cork battle mat on Lino. Came out great. Nice one, buddy. Right, let's have a look at these questions. What have we got? We got many so far? Just the one.
Dad?
Yeah?
Kat was talking about the people last time. What did they do?
Oh, we had trolls in.
Were they sent from somewhere else?
No, I just think they were passing through, darling. You know, they saw the stream and decided to pick on us for that night. It happens, you know, it's YouTube.
We will stop them.
Right. Jimmy's saying the Newark regulars have a fairly decent calendar for shows in the UK. Right? Nice.
Got about 10 minutes.
I'm at CSX, the old Contrail fan. I don't know what that is. Also, Kat's pointing out that when I do run out of questions, it is a Sunday night and I do like my bed. So this could be a short show. So you better get your bloody questions in.
We answer at 15, you have 3 minutes. 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, we start answering questions at 1:15. We started technically. They should have a couple more minutes to get the questions in.
No.
No. How brutal are you?
We planned it. It was YouTube's fault. You should be giving it them, not us.
September 1st, you have the Herwood show in Peterborough. Okay. Picky Mickey, that's cool. I'm building a house miniature out of XPS. Oh, I'll answer this one in the comments, I might as well. I'm building a house miniature out of XPS foam, and since I'm a beginner, I didn't predict some stuff. And now I have some gaps that bother me. What can I use to fill them before I apply a primer coat?
PVA. Hot glue.
Filler.
Oh.
You don't use hot glue on foam because it melts the foam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not PVA.
PVA, it won't fill the gaps. You could mix PVA with sand, yeah, but it'll still be a bit runny. Yeah, your better option is filler, crack filler. What do they call it in the States? Joint compound. Yeah, and just smooth it off with a wet finger. It'll be absolutely fine, mate.
Hole filling base.
Lord Scan, greetings from Chile. When you water down PVA ceilings, you said a 1-to-1 ratio of PVA versus water. I use Carpenter's PVA and I need more water to actually make my sprayer work. Will it work? Yes, it's perfectly fine diluting your PVA down. Okay, all it means is you'll get less PVA on your piece per squirt. Okay, there's no problem with you putting a few extra squirts on it. Yeah, or doing one layer, letting most of the water come off, and then applying another layer. Okay, the key thing is getting a good misting spray, and that means your PVA needs to be diluted. Yeah, Picky Mickey, how do I do that? You buy some filler, you get a little bit on your finger, you rub it in the gaps, mate, and you wet your finger, and you smooth it off. It's as simple as that.
We've had it done for my room.
Yeah, we've been filling gaps in your room, haven't we?
Because Mr. over here drilled a hole in my wall while he was trying to sort out Corbin's room.
Grass. Okay, so I was putting a TV up on the wall. Yeah, and my drill bit was slightly longer than I thought it was.
Dad, our walls are connected.
Well, obviously the walls are connected, but we ended up with a little talk-through channel, didn't you?
Yeah, and it wasn't into his conversation.
You don't want to listen to Corbin's conversations.
It was the weirdest thing I've ever heard trying to get to sleep. Like, What top should I wear tomorrow? I don't know, Reese.
Oh yes, well Corbin himself, yeah. I've got 5 questions, so we're going to jump on the questions in a second. Yeah, but Corbin himself, yeah. Where's Corbin at the minute?
He's at camp. But we're not going to say where because someone could go.
No, he's perfectly fine. Yeah, he's at Otterburn training area up in Northumbria.
Actually, yeah, he has got a gun.
Yeah, so no, he's fine on a training area. So he's doing the cadet thing. Yeah, and having a great time.
I'll be there in a year. Hopefully.
How long till you join cadets?
I have to be in year 8. I'm 12, but I'm 12 when I'm in year 7. So, 1 year.
1 year for you?
Couldn't have to wait for ages.
Well, yeah. What do you call it? Your birthday lands right, doesn't it? Yeah. So, Kerry starts. When does your mum start? October.
Yeah.
So, Kerry will be in October. Yeah. So there'll be Corbin in the cadets. Kerry will be an adult instructor in the cadets. Sergeant Bose. No, not going to hear the end of that. Yeah. She's going to come home thinking she can boss me about because she got a rank slide. Because she got like 3 stripes.
When you were higher rank?
I was a corporal, but I was a corporal in the the regular army.
Well, then just tell her that.
No, that won't work. Your mum won't believe that. Right, so let me pull these.
You're not the boss anymore, mother. Actually, you're not the boss anymore, father.
So anyway, yeah, your mum will be in, then you'll be in. Yeah. If you join in enough time to go to annual camp, then next summer, yeah, for the cost of you and Corbin, which is £40 each. I think it's £40, yeah, £40 each.
So 80 quid.
80 quid. I get rid of you, Corbin, and Mum for a week, and I get the house to myself.
Damn you. Yeah, but then you... I'm going to spam you with calls and annoy you.
Oh, I'm going to go on holiday. I'm not even going to be in the country.
Wait! You said when Mum joins and they go on one of their big camps, you are taking me.
So you think she isn't the boss now? Calm down, Kat. Well, won't be long until everyone in the house outranks you, including Ozzy. Ozzy already thinks he outranks me.
He has the biggest sofa.
Yeah, he does have the biggest sofa. I don't know why he has the biggest sofa, but he's quite comfortable on it.
He protect, he attack.
At least you won't have to salute Kez. I mean, the interesting thing is, what you call it? Yeah, I'm not actually sure how it works out between Kez and the eldest lad. Because the eldest lad is in the army, and he's currently an acting sergeant.
Dad.
Although, I could join the cadet forces, and because of my prior military experience, I could become an officer. Which means you'd all have to salute me. All my kids would have to salute me.
Just get out of here. It's not on the show anymore.
Now the thing is, yeah, no matter how delightful that sounds, you know what I mean? Yeah.
The work.
I'm done. I am not getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and yomping round the woods in the middle of the night in the rain.
Dad. Ozzy, he protect, he attack, and he lie on his back. He deserves a big sofa.
Alright, I've got 9 questions in. We better get stuck into these questions.
And a bit from Twitch.
Oh, we've got a question from Twitch. Nice one, guys.
Well, damn.
Okay, let's hit these questions and let's get this show rolling. I'm glad we've picked it up after our little bit of a sort of slow start with the old YouTube thing. I get frustrated. I've been getting frustrated with live streaming lately, haven't I? Just with all the technical problems and that sort of stuff. So, anyway, right, Neil C. Watching on YouTube. How do you sieve and grade your own base grit? I've received some sharp sand, but I only end up with fine sand and very coarse grit, nothing in between. Yeah, it depends what they put into the bags. I have a number of different sieves that I've picked up. Yeah, some are kitchen sieves. One of my sieves is a homemade sieve where I got a plastic sieve, cut out the bottom, then put some mesh in to get a different grade sieve. When it comes to the material you're sieving, the key thing to do is go and have a look for concrete ballast. What are you doing? Sit up properly, girl. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah. Have a look for concrete ballast. Concrete ballast contains a larger mix of different grade aggregates than sharp sand alone. And if you use concrete ballast, you'll get a load of different grades to work with. And that's what I do. Okay? So if you're looking to sieve your sand, yeah, it's about the sand you sieve and the sieves you're using. Yeah, so multiple grades, yeah, it is, isn't it? Multiple grades of sieves, and look for concrete ballast, yeah, which will have the greatest mixture. Alternatively, if you're struggling to find certain grades, you can always go out and grab yourself some ground, some earth out of the ground, and just and just bake that off. Bitty, gravelly ground is obviously the best because you want those little stones, but you can get it. It's out there. Yeah. So, hope that helps you, Neil. As always, yeah, this is this is a Q&A show. If you've got any questions, throw them in the links down below. If the information helps you, if you like the stream, if I'm helping you with the hobby, or you just enjoy the show, links down below to throw a nugget or two this way as well. It all helps getting teddy bear fur and stuff like that for what I'm messing around with at the moment.
Murder any more of my teddies?
I haven't murdered any of your teddies in ages.
In ages? What?
Jimmy's saying, just thinking of all the building materials you could gather on a good yomp around the woods. Tons. But be careful when you're picking stuff up off the woods. Yeah. Check the legalities in your area. There's certain there's places in the UK that if you just take anything, it's illegal. Never mind cuttings. If you just pick stuff up off the ground, if it's SSI, site of specific SSSI, site of specific scientific interest. Yeah, it's actually illegal to take anything. So just double check on stuff like that. Oh, what was that? I don't even know. Another follower. Welcome aboard. So, Neil, hope that helps you, mate. It's just about your sieves, and it's just about your It's just about the actual sand that you're sieving. Tabletop Plaster, watching on YouTube. Maybe a private question, and hopefully never asked before. Okay. What's your highest Amazon affiliate payment for a single deal? Never made anything off Amazon. I've got the affiliate thing set up. I just don't think I've pushed it. In fact, just out of curiosity, Amazon affiliates.
Why have you done this now?
Where would it's Amazon Associates, isn't it? I don't. Just 1 second. I set the affiliate thing up quite a while ago. That's not my password. Okay, let's leave that. I haven't actually had a payment from them as of yet, to be truthful.
Why are you meant to? Can we sue them?
So no, to answer that one, that's quite an easy one to answer. I've never actually had a payment from Amazon, mate.
Why are we meant to? Can we sue?
I've got this affiliate scheme set up, and what it's supposed to be is if people buy things off like links on Amazon, yeah, I make a cut. But I don't really push people to Amazon to get the cut, if you know what I mean. It's one of the jobs I'm supposed to do. Yeah, but it's commercial and I haven't got round to it, darling.
So it's basically like me with chores. I need to do them, but I never get round to it.
Something like that, yes. Oh, hello, wife.
She's been a good girl.
Oh, this is concerning. What? I mean, you've always got to worry when Kerry comes into the living room to sit down during a live show. What's up? Are you bored? You looking for trouble?
No.
She's looking for trouble. She's looking for trouble.
We're gonna die.
Right, So yeah, with regards to Amazon affiliates, I've never actually made anything from it, mate. I think single payments, the biggest ever, as I think back a couple of years ago in the studio, and I think I had a £500 payment from from. Is that my car alarm?
That's one of our car alarms.
Teenagers?
Is it mine?
I think it's yours, Duck. Go check.
car alarm doesn't go off, does it?
No, it's not mine, it's the one in front.
Oh, right, okay. Not your car then. No one's broken into yours. Oop. That could have been an interesting live stream. See, that's what happens when you live in the middle of the biggest social housing estate in one of the poorest cities in, what you call it. Life gets interesting. Blue lights up and down this road on a Saturday night is great. Right then. So yeah, I think the biggest payment I've ever had as a one-off was about £500. And it made me cry. I think the days of making me cry, the last one was the Kickstarter, to be perfectly honest. What?
No.
What?
No.
Well, go on.
It was when I had in my bedroom.
Oh, yeah. I cried when I saw how you'd actually cleaned your bedroom. Right, Right, so Pete, hope that answers your questions, mate. Make friends with local builders. They let you rummage through their building waste for anything you can use. Yeah. That's funny about Amazon. Thank you, Mel. No worries, Peter. It's one of those jobs that I've got to get round to get set up. You know, these are the supplies, these are the paints I use, and making money off the Amazon affiliate link. I just haven't got round to it yet. Busy with the book, busy with everything else, and it's on the job list. Neil's saying, I've been watching all your cheap and easy scenery vids this week. Started making a whole bunch of scatter pieces in preparation for playing bolt action. Nice one, mate. That's what they're there for.
It's not mine, it's that blue one in front.
Never mind, he's just begging. Who's begging? Right, begging? I don't know. Right, question 3 of 13 from Norman. Will you be in the studio this Thursday? And if so, what will you be up to? Probably more teddy bear fur on Thursday. I will be in the studio on Thursday. Other than that, just cracking on as normal, to be perfectly honest. Fingers crossed this whole YouTube stuff will have settled down.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
If someone, knew we were, knew where your studio was, which is, highly likely, would they just be able to come in, tell them that you're coming to visit them, and then come up and see you?
Generally, security needs to be told that I'm having a visitor before they'll let someone in. If someone comes, then they'll ring me and let me know someone's visiting. But generally, I like to know someone's coming.
Well, what if they say, hey, can I come down?
Well, if they say, hey, come down, then I'll arrange it. I mean, I had an interesting one last night. I nipped into the local shop. I nipped down. And all I'd done, this is so embarrassing. Yeah, I'll admit it.
Come on, Dad.
So anyway, yeah.
Spill the beans.
It's about, 10 o'clock at night?
Yeah, it was...
Yeah, and it was the moment when we realised the kids this one had nailed the milk, and we didn't have any milk for brews.
I need my milk for hot chocolate.
Yes, so you did. So you nailed it. Yeah. So I had to nip out to the local shop, and I'll be honest with you guys. Yeah.
He went in his PJs.
I had my pyjama bottoms on. I had a big coat up. You could see the bottom from the knees down, and I just thought, all I'm doing is I'm getting out of the car, straight in, grab some milk, pay for it, straight back out again. Be fine. So anyway, I walk in. There's this massive queue. I think, hey, up here. All right,
No one will look.
No, not just that. To be perfectly honest, people walking around in their pyjamas isn't such an unusual sight on this estate. I mean, people live in them.
I saw a girl in a onesie.
Yeah, and there's this guy staring at me, and I'm thinking, all right, mate, I know I'm in my PJ trousers, but it's nothing. And he goes, Mel? Oh. I'm like, he had that look where it's not a Mel which I've worked with you. It's a Mel like, have I seen you on YouTube? Yeah, he was a terrainiac. And I'm there in my PJ bottoms getting a bottle of milk. And so now I've resolved that I can never do that again.
No, Dad. When I'm coming out with you now, I'm coming in my PJs.
Yeah, any excuse for you to go out in your PJs.
Yeah.
Wait. Did they say anything about your PJs?
No, he didn't. Well, actually, I admitted it. I sort of said, I was laughing with them about about, the one time I nip out wearing my PJs, I bump into a terrainiac. Yeah, Bill's asking, have you done the Strata rock face yet? That's tomorrow. That's Tuesday's vid, mate. Right.
It's Sunday.
What is it with that blinking car, man?
Is it you being too close, Mum?
No, mate.
Right. Stay classy, Mel. I know. How embarrassing.
Can you go out in a tutu next time?
No, I'm not going to go out in a tutu. But no, I mean, I just thought I'll nip out, grab some milk, it'd be fine. Local shop.
Get noticed.
Get noticed? It was worse than bloody get noticed.
Wait, did he take a picture with you?
No, he didn't.
Are you going to meet up again? In your
I turned around and said to send me an email and come down to the studio. Yes, all the screaming girls like the Beatles. Oh, God. Right, okay, next question, because this is a Q&A show. Yeah, Bill in Iowa. Yeah, I'll check PayPal in a minute, make sure I'm not missing anyone, guys. Remember, if you submit down the links below, you can jump on Patreon, yeah, for like $1 a month to just support the channel. You can submit via Streamlabs and get a big shouty message up on the screen, or you can submit direct and I'll check and make sure you get your shout out there. Yeah?
Or
but
say
if
you don't want to shout out.
Oh yeah, or you can say you don't want to shout out, but why would you not want to shout out?
Because you don't want people to know that you're spending money.
Boop.
Because what if your mum's watching?
What if your mum's watching? Yes, if your mum's watching, then don't donate because she might get angry. You realise that the average... Do you realise the average age of my viewers is about 35? So if your mum's watching...
She's actually... Yeah.
So if your wife's watching...
Oh, what's going on?
Or your partner's watching... Okay, let's do a question. Bill from Iowa. Okay, watching on YouTube, do I have to take into account the humidity in the house when casting with plaster, like hydrocal? My mix ratio to water has changed. I have 6 packets of desiccant in the plastic container I'm storing it in, but could it have gotten damp?
I honestly don't know.
No, because any sort of casting powder, the moment it starts to get damp, it'll start to cure. So if it's still a powder, it's fine. Humidity shouldn't make a damn bit of difference. Yeah, to mixing up powder. Humidity can affect varnishes sprayed through the air. It can affect drying times, how quickly things evaporate and that sort of stuff. Yeah, but actually mixing plaster, it shouldn't affect it in the slightest, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I store my Cristacal in the studio in an airtight tub, and it doesn't even have any, desiccants in. So, that shouldn't, that shouldn't be an issue, mate, to be perfectly honest.
Travellers have set up in the Morrison's car park in Leek.
Happens.
Oh, funny.
Were they kicked out or were they allowed?
No, not
Digger, a mankini might happen. A mankini will definitely not happen.
Yes, it will.
A man bun, he will never be able to pull it off. Damn right I'll never be able to pull it off, because with my hair I'd have to super glue it on.
You don't want me to get the mankini pictures out then?
You don't.
Come on, Mum.
There was once a fancy dress party in our earlier days before we had children.
Mum,
I went full Borat, and I'm not a full Borat.
What, the 5 of you?
5 of us in Borat mankinis. Was that Derby?
Yeah.
That was a cold night.
I need to see that now.
No, you don't. So, to answer Bill's question, going back to plaster, yeah, humidity shouldn't make a damn bit of difference to your plaster process, mate. Whether storing it, if it's stored in an airtight container, it should be fine. And it shouldn't, it shouldn't affect the actual curing or mixing process. I'm waiting for... I don't know if you've shocked everyone in the comments. Here we go.
Is it a patron? Is it
Lee's there.
Cares
Oh,
what
well,
it
buddy.
costs.
Hope you had a good day, mate. Sorry we couldn't make it. Oh, I've had a PayPal. Let me just give this person a shout out because I don't want to miss
Unless
anyone.
they don't want one.
Unless they don't want one, as Willow
Because their
says.
mum's watching.
Okay, yeah. We had a couple of nuggets. Thank you, dude.
From who?
Looks like $5 Canadian. From Keith B. Love your instructions on these new to me materials. No foam board when I was a kid building stuff. Hey, we're living in a golden age, mate. Cheers from Canada. Thank you, Keith. It is appreciated and it really does help, mate. So thank you. You do make a difference when you do these things. Yeah. Onwards and upwards.
We're not in up.
We're not enough. Right.
Does anyone like the new...
Kat is saying, what would it cost?
Stick a cinnamon bun on
you
your
can
head.
forget putting a target on this show. You need to raise at least $1,000 in a show. In fact, no, not even for $1,000 in a show. Those pictures are not being shown the light of day.
You don't know where the pictures are. I do.
Oh yes, mother.
They're digital photos.
No, they're not actually.
Are they not?
Did you print them? Mum, I was going
Gary, why the hell is that the one picture of Mel you want to see? Imagine Mel in a mankini with a man bun signing copies of the book at a day. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I'll make him do it for you.
Huh?
Stick a cinnamon bun in your head.
Mankini and a man bun. You mean Zardoz? Meldoz. Kez I'd never heard of Zardoz. So I showed her the photo of Sean Connery, and it is Mankini riding the owl bear. Right, I'm going to get stuck into some questions and move on from
Get ready before you be demonetized.
Okay, right.
It
Well,
wasn't
no,
a
calm
mankini,
down.
it was more like a nappy.
Right, give me that. That's not for that sort of work. You bend in the end tip. You bent it. Lee, get your own pencils.
You've got millions of pencils.
Not with my draftsman's pencil. I have one pencil.
This is a drafter.
In fact, where's my pen gone?
pen, sir?
Where?
There, the green one.
No, that's not my pen. Where's my... Oh, there. They're always I have one pen and I have one pencil. No.
No, you have the other one as well.
It would cost Mel's dignity.
We're willing to give that up for a photo.
Right. Tater Tot is asking on YouTube, have you thought about doing how to on detailing interiors of MDF buildings, such as adding window trim, carpet, decay, etc.? It's not a topic I've thought about. It's not something I do that often, to be truthful. Yeah, but there's loads of different things that you can do. So we could do a video series on that. Yeah, and we could just go along, adding wallpaper, adding debris, all those sort of things. They're certainly doable. Yeah, so I can certainly add it to the list and we'll have a look at it once the book's done next month. Book should be finished next month, guys. I am on the downward slope. Yeah, but yeah, we can certainly look at that. Right, moving on. Diggers Outdoors is asking, do you use any 3D printed products? If so, do you make your own, or where's your favourite place to get them at? I don't make my own, and I don't really use them. People have sent me bits and bobs, who do 3D printing, yeah, to sort of work with different projects. Sounds like another Kickstarter goal. You can forget that. That Mankini picture is staying gone. Not just that, yeah, we've got the dignity of the other 4 guys to consider. It wouldn't be right to show them off.
Blur their faces.
It's alright, I'm sure you can check with the wives. I'm sure they wouldn't mind.
But no, watch out, I don't do
In fact,
3D.
I guarantee I know somebody who can get me a picture right now.
Shut up.
Do it. Come on, Mum.
I hate Jane. I love you, Jane, if you ever watch this, but I hate you, Jane. Because I know she'll have that photo stored. She'll have a drawer somewhere with that photo in, along with other photos.
Father,
Oh, God.
guess what mothers do?
ex-forces people, we tend to party hard. We used to do this thing, where we'd have a camping trip once or twice a year. And as many of us who were on leave and as many friends that we'd made along the years would sort of gather at Bosworth for an epic camping weekend. We'd found this pub that had like a field. And in the middle of the field, it had like a fishing pond that we used to go swim and throw the kids in. It was just a mud pool. Yeah, but it had a really great restaurant. Yeah, and we could ring on our mobiles, from the tent, and the waitress would come out with a tray with steaks and the full, like, restaurant meals and pitchers of beer for us to have at the tent side.
It was dead good because we got, like, all of our tents in a circle and then one big gazebo thing in the middle, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, we literally rigged up all our tents in a massive circle and just basically put a frame up in between them, rigged a tarpaulin over the top, held it down. We're all, pretty much all ex-forces. Ex-forces and close friends, if you know what I mean. Yeah? But it was like, let's just rig that up.
Because all the kids were safe.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
They go in each other's tent, they couldn't get out.
And even then, I mean, the actual campsite itself, we were all the way along on one side of the field, and so the kids could just go play all over the place. A couple of our lot were people who were really into fishing, so there was always someone sitting at the pond edge, the lake edge. So if the kids were messing around and perhaps they got a bit too close to the edge, there was always an adult there.
Wait, Dad?
And the barbecues we used to have.
Yeah.
Dad?
Yes.
I don't know if I just dreamt this, but me and you were in a tent, right? And I said a bad word about somebody, like the big group. And then you told me don't say that. Did that happen or was that a dream?
It might have well happened. Can you remember when you were sick and then your brother was sick?
Yeah.
Home early?
Right, anyway, I'm getting distracted. Just sent our donation, Mel. Thank you, Cody. I will check in just a second.
They were good.
Right, I'm going to check. Sorry, guys, a bit reminiscing there. But yeah, we used to do... We haven't done it in a while. We need to get that going again. It sort of pitted out, didn't it? With everyone...
Having babies, young...
A mixture of people having really young babies so they couldn't come camping, and a mixture of quite a few... Deployments have gone up recently.
And us.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You know, everyone seems to be on deployment or covering something or somewhere. Yeah, it's not how it used to be.
But yeah, we should get everybody.
Yeah, we should. I think it's too late for this year, but I think next year what we should do is put out...
It's been bought out, that place has.
Yeah, but we can find a site.
Yeah.
You know, all it takes...
I like that farm on the hill.
All we got to do is send out a message to everyone and just say, right, we need a recce. You know, everyone knows what we need from a campsite, and
Sort it out.
yeah, I think we should. Sorry, guys.
Well, I end up going camping.
Right. I think there's a big difference between my diorama stuff and making terrain for gaming. Yeah, massive difference. One is for displaying artwork, the other one is a functional item for gameplay. He will have more work in the shop. Oh, yeah. For Mel's second book, he'll be sending everyone a signed Mankini photo. No, I won't.
Yes,
I've
you
got the
will.
book plate picture.
Right, Will sent his donation. I'm going to jump on that as soon as I finish these comments, then we're going to get back into the Watch for the questions. So if you've got any questions, links down below. Can I just say, although we had a little bit of an iffy start to this show, I'm really loving it. I'm having a great time, guys.
Have I been good?
Have you been good?
If you'd shut your face.
Right, very quickly, I'm going to quickly change the screen because I want to see, if that's going to update. No, it's not going to update. Yeah, Kat, most of my work is book-wise is building-based. All the heavy writing has been done. All the smaller sections have been detailed out, bullet points, and are getting padded out. But it's building mainly. To do a camp with Mel sounds fun.
No.
Oh, mate.
No. Mom, don't even.
Right, moving on, question-wise.
Dad, Mum's being a bad. Get off.
Mum's what?
Get off.
Right, Donna make a scream. I have to calm her down for the streams. Don't sit there winding her up. Right, okay. Right. I'm going to ban you two in a minute.
Not me.
It's her.
Okay, checking the old PayPals. Just because I want to make sure no one gets left behind.
Even Ozzy's gone fetch his ball.
Goodbye.
Mel, have you seen the dog?
He wants in now because you're prattling about. Right, we got one from Marty. Marty sent a couple of nuggets. Yeah, no message, but thank you. Marty Jones. Brilliant, thank you guys. There you go. Right, back to it. Okay, Dave Cook. Mel, please can you advise me on where to get thin foam board in the UK? Generally for foam board, I generally buy it from art shops. You're right now.
She just fell off the sofa.
Of course. I generally buy it from art shops. You can get it from the range. Yeah, the range sell black foam board. It's perfect. If you're after EPVC foam board, then your best place is just to approach sign printers and ask them for free scrap, because they'll have lots of offcuts that they need to pay to get rid of as waste. So they'll be able to they'll be able to help you out there. Mel, I joined Patreon. Nice one, buddy. And there it is. Yeah, he has. Thank you, mate. Mike Melbourne also joined Patreon. Thank you, buddy. So yeah, right, I'm all over the place, aren't I? So yeah, thin foam board. Check out the range, mate. Right, question 8 of 16. Red Green's asking, will you be doing a Halloween terrain piece?
Dad.
Yeah.
You're halfway there.
Okay.
Willow, what do you think of a Halloween terrain
Demonetisation.
piece? Willow, Halloween terrain piece. They're asking, what do you think Dad should build?
Should be like a Halloween roller coaster going into my mouth. That's scary.
No,
Wonderfully.
not trick or treat sweets. No.
No.
Beetlejuice. Do a Beetlejuice board.
A Beetlejuice board.
No.
It depends on how much time I've got, because Halloween's October. Right, leave the paper.
Willow, do you want to go play in your room?
No.
Right, so. Yeah, I probably will do a Halloween piece, to be truthful. That'll be fun.
You've got skulls, haven't you?
Actually, I nailed all my skulls on the big skull monstrous demon portal thing. Yeah, but might do a spooky graveyard or something like that. But yeah, I think we should.
Do a Nightmare Before Christmas spooky graveyard.
I'll have to have a look. Yeah, but yeah, normally, Normally, I realised too late that it's Halloween to do a Halloween piece. And so, we'll have to see what we can do. Yeah, but yeah, I'll try and do a Halloween terrain piece this year.
I'm going to lock myself up.
Set it up.
Thank you.
Is she showing the pic to Willow? No.
No, I think it's adults only. I'm seeing otherwise.
If your average viewer age is 35, a Beetlejuice board might be on par.
There you go.
Hey Dad, can I give you a piggyback before I go up?
No.
Well, don't be mithering, babe.
She's so desperate.
I can piggyback in now.
Yes.
Well, do you want...
Right, Gary's asking, what's the best way to build a cliff to make a canyon? Foam, mate. Sheets of foam layered on top of each other, glued together, then given a hard coat. You promised a Halloween... Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to finish the canyon. Yeah, if you want to make canyons, the best one is foam sheets and just build it up that way. You can use... what's it called? You can use rolled up newspaper and stuff like that, stacked on top of each other, taped in place, and then applied with plaster bandage to sort of make large rock formations if you want to make a really large rock formation. If you just after doing canyon sides, you can do this thing where... Love you too, darling. Yeah, where you can get your foam and flip it so it stands upright. Yeah, and then a couple of sheets can actually be used to make quite high, sort of canyon walls that are quite thin. There's an example of that in the terrain techniques, hills, cliffs and rock faces, where I get two sheets and what I do is I glue them together, then I stand them up upright and I carve the detail into them so I don't have the transition lines of multiple sheets stacked on top of each other. Yeah, because the front face is just solid. Yeah, so if you want to check that out, Gary, that's there, and that might be of use to you. Waste of Warboss on Twitch is saying Tim Burton Graveyard.
Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah. Kat saying you promised a Halloween piece last year. And if you remember, I started a Halloween piece last year. It just took me something like a month to finish it. Say Beetlejuice 3 times. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Candyman, Candyman, Candyman.
Don't say that one.
I just have. I tell you what, let's try this one. Donations, donations, donations. If we're going to be calling things up by telling them 3 times, I might as well throw that one in the mix. What's the largest foam cutter you've used, homemade or otherwise? I've got one of those 3D scroll ones. Yeah, from Hotwire Foam Factory. And that's got a cutting depth of, I think, about 18 inches. Yeah, that's quite nice. You can put wires in it that you can actually bend. And then you can turn pieces round to make 3D cuts and stuff like that. So it's quite interesting. I find it better to think about what they will make next as to what they say they're going to make, as it's more pleasing to the mind.
You have to do it on the proviso that you've done everything with the book first, because that's your priority.
Well, no, I mean, book's finished by end of next month at the latest. Yeah,
but then
which is
you've got a month then to build.
Yeah.
Rather than leaving it, like you say, if it takes you a month, it's not going to be done for Halloween, is it?
No, what I'll probably do is just do maybe 1 or 2 scatter pieces, so we can have like a Halloween themed build week. Do you know what I mean? So maybe do 3 tutorials and then just turn around and say this week we're having a tutorial Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Graveyards and things would be a good idea, because that's something that in general terrain you could
use. Graveyards come into a lot of fantasy games as well. So graveyards
gates.
Generally you've got graveyards, you've got creepy woods. Yeah.
But without being funny, you've done trees to death.
Yeah, but I haven't done gnarly trees, or I haven't sculpted like demon faces on the tree trunks, and I can show that sort of stuff.
Just don't overstretch yourself.
I'm sure I could do a couple of small pieces just as demo. I know what you're saying. Don't overcommit.
If you can, that'd be brilliant, but I just don't want you.
So Gary, anyway, going back to your question, yeah, that's if I'm making a cliff, I stack foam. Yeah, if you want really high ones, seriously consider flipping your foam up on its edge and stacking it that way. Yeah. Oh, Cypher, thank you, buddy. Donation. Now, if that worked, I've now got to worry about Beetlejuice and the Candyman.
Face. Beetlejuice, I don't mind.
I'm not that scared of the Candyman.
Well, I am, so shut up.
The Candyman can.
Shut up.
Kez hates the Candyman. Jack-o'-lantern field? Yeah, that'd be a good one. Yeah.
And the kids can help you with that as well.
I could do it really clever, and we could actually do it with the jack-o'-lanterns glowing.
Like a maze and...
I could do that.
Scarecrowy things and...
Have you ever thought about making a YouTube video about a game session with your terrain? Yes, I have. You know what I mean? And it's there. Once again, thanks, Cypher. It is appreciated, mate. So, Gary, that's your question answered. My best tip is foam. Remember, if you haven't got foam yet, then you can go for the bald newspaper and plaster bandage it all up. If you really want tall canyons with foam, get your foam, flip it up on its side and build it that way. Because that way you'll only need a couple of sheets to get a bit of thickness on it, but you'll have loads of lovely height. Could we see a kind of small graveyard, undead baggage train type for table scenery? Yeah. Jimmy's saying a demonic house. I'm not sure about that one, but I will try and do something cool for for Halloween for you. Right, moving on. Question 10 of 17. Bill D. Do you have any tips for making 20mm 176 rural village buildings for gaming Bronze Age ancients that would appear Mesopotamian Anatolian and Egypt. 20 mil. To be truthful, there's nothing specific I can say there, Bill. I mean, other than going, like, make sure you get your scale right, make sure, you're talking your desert colours, that sort of stuff. But I don't know how I would say. You see, there's no specific tips for working in 20 mil. Because in 20 mil, you're pretty typically working in 5 mil foam board anyway, and the sort of same materials that you'd work in 28 mil. So there's nothing really I can give you for 20 mil. Yeah, and then for just gaming it for that period, Mesopotamia, Anatolia and Egypt, I would imagine they're going to follow the normal sort of style, Adobe building style. Yeah, for those regions in that time. Flat roofs, single layer dwellings, for the heat and that sort of stuff. Made out of a wattle daub or mud bricks. So I don't know what else I could give you on that, mate, to be perfectly honest. I have one person that saw my stuff and he wants his house done. I told him we need more time, started planning for next year. That's awesome, Cat. Right. I'll quickly check PayPal for anyone else. Just make sure we're not missing anyone. I think there's only ciphers, but let's just double check. Because I don't want to miss anyone. Yeah, it looks like just cipher. Thank you, buddy. Donation, donation, donation. That's how my family rolls. I've told some folks before, but when my youngest was 8, she made a graveyard cake for the school carnival, but had a bloody baby limbs coming out of the graves. I got called to have a talk. Funnily enough, yeah.
Okay, that's funny. Funnily enough, what?
Well, my sort of school talks, they started off quite formal. Then they started to move to like quick chats in the playground, and then they sort of realised what my kids and our family's like. I mean, we do have that one thing where, I mean, our kids are probably more aware of war, medieval, sieges. Because, I mean, one of the things that we do as a family, quite a lot of, is we visit historical sites, don't we?
Yeah.
And when you visit these historical sites...
Not just that, you know a lot of people and historians. And
yeah, I know a lot of
so
historians. And actually,
normal.
history, it's quite unpleasant. You know what I mean? And when you go to these places and you talk to the kids about these things, I'm not saying that we try to shock them, but we don't sugarcoat things.
No, tell them how it is.
We tell them why things were and, how things were and that sort of stuff in an appropriate manner. But generally what it means is our children tend to be far more aware of the gruesome stuff that goes on in the world. I mean, one of the other things is also when you play Dungeons and Dragons, well, when you play any sort of like fantasy sort of, you get traps. I mean, we played one game, we have like this customized game. It's a mixture of Hero Quest, Dungeon Saga and Dungeons and Dragons that we the kids and the family sort of made up. And they had to rescue someone from a torture chamber. Yeah, so Willow goes into school to tell the teachers about all the stuff that was in the torture chamber. Now, that was one of those conversations which is, right, Mel?
It's a game.
Yeah, I mean, the irony is, yeah, that when they were in junior schools before we moved back to England, and when Corbin was just first couple of years, preschool, yeah, when we lived in Wales, we went from having awkward conversations about, why does your son know this? Yeah, we were talking about the Bronze Age and your son mentioned this, this and this. Yeah, to after about 2 years, Mel, we're going on a school trip to a castle. Would you like to come along and tell the children about the castle, please?
Or can you build some scenery
Yeah.
for this project we've got on in
The
school?
teachers. In fact, here you go. I've got it.
Overton.
No, you don't mention.
They're not there, no?
I know, but right. I'm going to see if I can find a photo.
Wasn't it it was normal like street, wasn't it, with the school, wasn't it shops on it and car parks and...
Oh, we did two. We did the castle and we did the street, didn't we?
Oh yeah, you did the castle?
Yeah. Let me. I'd actually like to show this to you guys. So
I'm surprised you've still got all of them.
I've got everything.
You can
School
actually
builds.
find them. You haven't got the mankini there, have you?
That's not terrain. Let me just show you this. Well, I'll have to take a little detour. We've got half an hour yet, but school projects. Here we go. Right. Right. Graphics are going to get a bit iffy because I'm just going to dump them on the screen, guys. Yeah, so this was... Where is it?
It's got to be like 11 years ago, though.
Can I just put that into the screen? Right, can I... Right, I've got to go to editor mode. Sorry about this, guys. Just give me a second. Transform. Fit to screen. Right, so, really, really awful way of showing it. What we used to do was, if the school was doing a project or anything like that, they'd actually contact me and sort of say, Mel, could you build us something? And this was one that they were doing on the purpose of the high street and elements of the high street and how because we lived in a little village, okay, and so there wasn't anything higher than 2 stories in the village, and it was all little houses. So they were showing the children, you know, what it was like living in a town. I mean, we didn't even have a supermarket. Yeah, and so let me throw this one on. Look, oh my God, look at me there. Oh my God.
You had hair and everything.
And then no grey. Yeah, and look at little Corbin. Yeah.
Like, that sort of shows how long they've been doing it.
Yeah, this shows how long my kids have been doing terrain. Yeah. And so if you notice, it's actually almost... It's not actually quite straight. This because it was designed to fit on one of those school tables that are sort of like half a hexagon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we built this and it got a supermarket and a canal that went under the road and terraced housing and flats to show them and road markings. Yeah. Here we go.
Got the castle one.
Yeah. I don't fit to screen. I haven't got the castle one here. I need to have a look. Yeah. That was it all painted up for the kids. Let me get a close-up. Fit to screen. There you go. I'm not seeing the comments, so I'm going to have to jump in the comments now and just see what you guys are saying while we go. Mel, everyone's talking about Mel has hair. Really? I show you all this lot and this is what you come back with. Mel has hair.
Had.
Oh boy.
How little they were, man.
So this saw his family. Mel has hair. My father did time in Northern Ireland doing personal protection. He taught me some stuff. I used to be in school, and my parents used to explain why I was in school using military training as a training ground. Right. Let's see if I can find the castle. Yeah, I did 2 boards for him. I did a we did there's the castle. Corbin's castle.
Corbin's castle.
Is that a better folder? No, same ones. So, another build. Yeah, that we did for him. Yeah, I'm just going to throw these on the screen and just... Oh, look at that.
Look at his hair.
Oh,
Look.
yeah. Once again, this was going to go on one of those hexagon tables, so we were making a castle. Yeah, I think that's the towers being put out. Look at that smile. Yeah, you can see the Don John being the big tub. Is that our Jensen? It is Jensen and my mum.
And then Danny Brown.
Yeah, helping Pape Mache it.
God, he's going on 19 now.
Yeah. In fact, no, he's 18. He's just got his A-level results. Now, I didn't actually paint this up, but the finished castle was sent to him like this. And this was the finished castle. So that was it all papier-mâchéd up.
And then they painted it.
Yeah, and then have we got another photo? A bit of a better one that maybe show
Just
it?
say that's not Willow, that's Corbin. Somebody thought that was Willow on there then.
No, that's Corbin.
That's Corbin. Corbin used to have really long hair right up until about 4 years ago.
Yeah, that was the castle all papier-mâchéd up. So as you can see, I'd used the tubes. Yeah, I'd had the crenulations just with cardboard, taped them in place with masking tape. I made crenulations on the main tower. We only did a corner of it. I also did on this side a bit of a ruined tower because I wanted to show how they reuse the masonry from old bits on the new bits. And then the kids painted it up. The actual the rock surface was mod rock, plaster bandage. But yeah, that was our tower. Right, I'm going to have to get rid of these photos now and get back to the normal screen. But yeah, that's a blast from the past for you. Oh, I've shut my questions. I need to reopen those. I'll jump in the comments in a second, guys. But yeah, so as you can see, terrain has been a family thing since.
I was going to say, I can't remember what Willow's youngest, what the piece was.
Willow, she was on those photos. Castle build.
Was she on there?
Yeah.
That's Corbin.
No, what you got? Here you are. Right. It was school projects. And actually, was she working on it there? Oh no, that's a Kerry.
That's me. With Corbin.
With Corbin. There you go. Painting it up.
Painting that?
Yeah.
No, that was the old one. That was the school, the street one.
I don't think I've got Willow working on.
I didn't think.
Willow was roughly at age, but I don't think she actually. Actually, just a minute. Didn't she work on the castle?
Well, don't worry about it now.
No, that's bugging me. Just one quick one. I just want to see if I have got a picture of Willow. Sorry for the little family diversion here, guys. In fact, there we go.
Is that both of them?
That's both of them. There you go. There we are. Corbin and Willow.
That was that. Oh, was that for that board?
That was the castle board. There's the large tower with the keep.
Oh, actually, yeah.
There's the front wall, and then you can see that they're gluing down the what you call it, the base sheets.
He is, yeah. She wasn't doing it there.
No, she wasn't.
I mean, she did used to do stuff, but I think she was just too little there for the.
Oh, like this.
Yeah.
There you are. There's Willow help planning it.
Oh, look at it.
They are. There's her what you call it, detailing out the road for me.
Brilliant.
Right, I don't know how many people we've got still watching or anything like that. Sorry, well, I'm not going to apologise for a diversion. That was quite nice. Yeah. Oh, actually, we've got plenty of people. People haven't run away at that. It says 84 on YouTube, 5 on Facebook, and 4 on Twitch. Any of you that get your kids involved in building anything has so many side benefits. You're not only opening up their imagination and creativity, but validating their ideas and building confidence. So right, listen, generally get your kids involved in any sort of crafting at any stage. They love it, and it's a brilliant way to bond, isn't it?
Yeah, and it lets them wind down as well.
Yeah.
Creativity,
Yeah, it does. It
gets them off the blinking computers.
I don't think, to be perfectly honest, other than the mess, there's a down point.
No, there isn't. As long as you're watching it, make sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know, as long as you supervise them and you pick the right jobs for them. You know, there's certain
It's
jobs.
like how Caden when he had that school project with that Mott and Bailey.
Yeah, and
And he literally,
we did it in a day.
And he didn't stop, did he? And he
No, I mean,
loved it.
he turned up and he got to make a
loved
Mott and Bailey, for school.
The day after.
The day after. And we built it, painted it, and laid down the water effects all in one day. And I think he did about 6 hours
He won the
on it.
competition at school.
Oh, he nailed it. Of course he bloody won the
Well, he
competition.
did it himself, didn't
Yeah, I didn't lay a finger on it. He cut everything, he glued everything himself. Every bit. I mean, it was a kid's project, but as a kid's project, he did bloody well. Yeah. Hair threw me off. Yeah, both our kids have had long hair. Yeah. Right, I'm going to very quickly get back to my questions, since you guys are, will be wanting answers. Norman Rowe, Bill. I think we got up to about Diggers Outdoors. Dave Cook was, thin foam board. Halloween terrain piece. We did the cliff. We did the Bill's 20mm. Okay, right, let's crack on. Right, sorry about that. No, I'm not going to apologise for that little divergence, because it was actually quite nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a family, we've crafted since the kids were in nappies. And I'll be honest with you, I think the school have been shocked at times at the fact of what tools I trust my kids with.
You got told off at school, didn't you? Taking a hot glue pen in. Because there hadn't been a risk assessment done. And all the parents kept coming up and going, "Can I borrow your glue gun, Mum?"
British schools have this sort of they do these craft days where they invite your parent in, and what you'll do is you'll build craft things. And then we've had a couple. We've had one where we had to build... We've done masks, we've done shields, we've done...
sandwiches.
We've done Stone Age roundhouses.
A dragon eye made with Corbin.
Yeah, we had the construction challenge where we had to build a 2-foot bridge. Yeah, that was a foot up that could take matchbox cars. And all you had was paper and sellotape and that sort of stuff. And that was a competition between the tables. Yeah, so anyway... Yeah, I think we were building the roundhouse.
Where's the long-haired Mel pictures? Sorry, I was just thinking. It's not real hair, but the only one I think of is honeymoon. When you came back with that hat with the long hair.
Yeah, I bought a hat with long hair on it. Mel hasn't had long hair since he was in school and his rocker days.
Carry on answering your question.
But anyway, what you call it? And all the parents were queuing up outside. It was about 9:15 in the morning as they were getting the children moved into the hall ready for the parents to come in and spend the morning crafting with the kids. And all the parents are there with their little carrier bags of their materials, of their cardboard boxes. Yeah. And there's me, and I've got a toolbox. I've gone through... I don't think I had the studio back then. We were here, weren't we? And I'd packed everything I needed, to make this roundhouse model properly. Spray adhesives, the lot. I'd even got paper to put down. I got my flocking materials. But the one thing I knew that I needed to speed up the build was hot glue. Now, the fact of the matter is, you're not allowed to take hot glue in. You're not allowed to take anything which requires a plug into school, because it needs to be what in the UK something called PAP tested. And PAP testing is
basically... And you have to have risk assessments.
And risk assessments and that sort of stuff. So at the time, I had this hot glue wireless pen, which you charged. So I decided, you know what? I'll take that inside. Yeah. And what I was doing is, we're working away, and I got it in my pocket. And every so often, I was sliding out of my pocket, so I could hot glue something. And I've got it out of my pocket now, just working on this bit, fixing the roof. Yeah. And I look up, and the deputy head is standing right behind me. And she's like, "That's handy, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I suppose it hasn't got a plug."
Then she asked you if you could borrow it.
Cat saying, "Mel, rocker days, another visual I'm having a problem with." Yeah, for probably a couple of years, I actually...
When I met you,
I grew up in a rock pub, literally. Yeah, and so I was a rock. Well, I still am. I just, my hair doesn't swing when I'm moshing anymore. Where's the long-haired Mel pictures? You'll have to ask me, Mum. Right, let's get on with some of your questions because some of you guys are waiting. Been a good show. I've enjoyed this one. Thanks, guys. Yeah, Neil C's asking, I built some trees using Woodland Scenics armatures, spray adhesives and some Woodland Scenics underbrush. The foliage seems a little fragile. Will spraying them with spraying them with PVA firm them up and make them more robust? Yes. And as long as your spray adhesive is a latex-based one, the water in the PVA won't activate it and they won't fall off. But spraying them is perfectly fine. What you can do, though, is if you're feeling a bit iffy about spraying them with watered-down PVA, hairspray. You need to look for 80 style, extra volume, extra hold, matte.
Firm hold you want.
Extra firm hold. Yeah, and the finish is called flat, isn't it? It's not for the non-glossy one.
It's just one sort, babe.
Can't you get glossy hair stuff?
No, that's a different sort of thing, that is.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway,
normal hairspray, you just get normal hairspray and then you can get extra strong hairspray.
Yeah, but basically, get the extra volume, extra firm, flat, matte hairspray. Give them a blast with that, mate. Do it in coats. Do about 5 coats on it, step by step. Give it a blast. Give it a good 10-15 minutes to fully cure. Then come back, give it another blast. And I'll tell you what, that'll firm them up really nice. Jimmy, it's almost too much to think about.
Pass me a cup.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, darling. Right, I'm on... I'm going to hold the questions now. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to give you 2 minutes, just in case you've got any last burning questions. Yeah, because we're on the downslide of the show. I'm going to very quickly check the old PayPals, make sure I'm not missing anyone. I think I am missing someone. Is that... No, that's Cypher, I think. Yeah, that's Cypher. We've given him a shout out. Thank you, buddy. It is appreciated. What's that? Right. So that was Neil's question. Moving on. Cypher's question. Right, we better get this one right. Do you mainly do war games? No, I know you mainly do war games. So have you considered RPG games like D&D, either to play or make terrain with for your kids? I struggle with D&D, to be truthful. It's probably because I haven't mixed with a decent D&D group. I've only actually played one game of D&D, and that was the introductory game in the D&D book. The one where you visit the ruined castle. Yeah, and, there's rats and some bandits down there. And there was only me in my party, and the dungeon master. And it was more like, I saw it more like a logic problem than a role play. So I struggle with playing D&D and stuff like that. I'd like to have a decent game of D&D. I just haven't got a D&D group to play with. With regards to the kids, we play, Dungeon
Saga.
Well, we play Dungeon Saga mixed with Hero Quest, mixed with D&D. The idea being that we use like the Hero Quest and Dungeon Saga mechanics for the fighting actions. And then we throw a bit of D&D in there. With a bit of the talking and, have they figured things out, that sort of stuff. But I am mainly a war gamer, I think, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, you're nice and goofy on your nice clean.
Right, moving on. So, hope that answers your question, Cypher. Other than that, don't know what to say. I'd like to play I'd like to play D&D, get involved in a proper D&D group. I mean, people have invited me in the past, but it's never panned out. I think DMG Info said he was going to sort something, but that didn't pan out. But I'd like to give it a go. Cypher saying, yeah, that answered it. I'd like to, mate, to be truthful. And even if it's not on YouTube, even if it's just a personal thing, you know. I've got Dungeons and Dragons. I think I've got the book right down there. In fact, I've got...
You're pushing me off the chair, dog.
I've got, is it Osis? Really? So you just sat on the dog's chair and he's pushed you off?
Push me off.
Serves you right for sitting on his chair. No wonder he looks distressed. He's not allowed on your chair.
Get back down.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd like to. Whether it happens, I don't know. Okay, Bruce Jennings watching on YouTube. What's the best source for Milliput? Generally buying bulk places. Bulk supply. I think I buy Milliput in packs of 5 from Amazon. Yeah, it's one of those things that, you know, you're going to struggle to buy it in discount amounts. Cypher's saying, can't really invite you to my group, but if you happen to visit the Netherlands, give me a shout. Should be there.
Excuse to visit the Netherlands.
Yeah, are you anywhere near Amsterdam?
When are we going there?
Should be going, well, September, October time, hopefully.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. Actually, I have been invited to participate in a role play. Westy's invited me to participate in his company's role play. Yeah, any of you regulars will know Westy and know what his company does, will know the idea of what this role play was. Nope! Nope! There's a big bag of nope! He's been sending me screenshots, so I'm not sure if they're legal. Roll for penetration. So anyway, going back to Bruce's question, mate. I'm sorry. All that I can recommend is just look for bulk supplies. Of Milliput. And if you do find somewhere that's selling it cheap for lots, let me know, mate. El Nino, to be specific, not really touristic. Then again, I've visited lots of non-touristy places all around Europe, mainly woods.
Did you go for a job interview in Holland somewhere?
Yeah. What?
Tech Data? Not Tech Data.
No. I can't remember what the company was, but they flew me over, didn't they?
Yeah.
Be their UK. I was going to manage their UK operations. So Eindhoven they were in.
Andover.
Yeah. No, Eindhoven. Was it Eindhoven?
No, Andover.
No, near Nijmegen. I've been Nijmegen quite a lot of time because I used to do Nijmegen marches in the army, which is 100 kilometres over 4 days. Yeah, it's supposed to be the route, the Market Garden route, and it's walked every year. You know, forces around the world go there, and we used to go there. We've walked in. We also did blister tents, where you treat the walk as blisters. Yeah, medic, obviously. And then we've been to Amsterdam a few times, doing the touristy thing and that sort of stuff. And then I went over for that job interview, and they flew me over to Schiphol for lunch. Yeah, I literally flew in, had lunch at the airport with the sales director, and then about a week later they flew me back over, and then I'd caught a train down to Eindhoven and stayed there for the night so I could meet the factory and meet the rest of the management staff. Do you know they decided that I was the perfect fit for this manager's role. Okay, but they wanted to make sure I was being genuine, so they decided they were going to send me to Manchester, to have this psychological assessment. And basically I was interviewed and given tests and stuff for a day in Manchester by this recruitment company. Yeah, and it was all to figure out, if I was telling the truth of what I think and how I handle things and, what I think of this. And they came back, and understand this was a sales role. It was a sales manager running a sales office. Yeah, and they came back and they said, we've had your psychological things. Yeah, and they all saying what you're saying is true, and how you act and what you say, that it all reaffirms it. He says, but we've got a bit of a concern, and it means that we're not going to accept you, and you've not been successful. And I turned around and said, I've done really well all the way through. What's the concern here? Yeah? And they turned around and they said, you're a bit too focused on money. And I'm like, it's a sales job. You're only going... I mean, that was the only reason I was working in sales, you know. We'd lost our home and I was trying to make us as much bloody money to get us back on our feet. Yeah. This was before I had my breakdown that led to the channel, if you know what I mean. Yeah, but, you know, I was literally doing as much as I could to, you know, and it's like, it's a sales manager's job, running a sales office. But I'm too focused on making money. That if you've ever worked in any sales role, yeah, you will be sitting there open mouth now, just in disbelief. I mean, what? They ran a sales office. The Dutch are lovely people, but they have a funny idea about doing business. They didn't think sales staff deserve sales bonuses. How the hell do you motivate sales staff if you don't give them bonuses? I mean, really, they had an office of 8 people in the UK, and no one in the office was on bonuses for hitting target. Right. Cypher's saying, yeah, that sounds familiar. The Dutch are lovely people, but they have a funny way of doing business. Then again, there was the Belgians. We did business with this one company in Belgium, and this Belgian company, they did cyber security, and they were responsible for the 2-factor authentication, like a security protocol, for like a quarter of the world's banking. And in this Belgian company, between 12 and 1 o'clock, you couldn't get the company because the entire company, including the reception staff and the people who answered the phone, went on lunch. And they're responsible for the security of a quarter of the banking around the world. Vasco, they were called. And every lunchtime, the entire company went on lunch. Bizarre. Right, let me get back to some questions. Okay, Johnny Deco's asking, Mel, I've just gotten into model railroading. I want to build my own bridges. What is the best way to go about it? Do you have a video or you'll make one in the future? Probably make one in the future. Best way for making railway bridges? I'd probably buy one, mate. Unless you're making like a stone aqueduct and you want to carve it out of foam. Yeah. The metallic, there's a lot of good plastic kits. Diapol do some nice bridge kits. Yeah, if you want to make... I'd say if you want like the metal sort of looking railway bridge, you really need to go the plastic kit route, because you're otherwise making it out of styrene or plastic card and bits of plastruct will be a lot of hard work. If you want to go for the old-fashioned stone bridges, then you want thin foam. Bluefoam.co.uk sell thin foam. You want 5 and 10 mil. Construct it, engrave it up. All the engraving details and that sort of stuff, they're all covered in the foam videos on the Back to Basics playlist. So you should find your answers there, matey. Right, moving on. Jimmy's saying, I love the Dutch, great people, but they put mayo on the chips and that's sick.
That is sick.
No, it's not sick. I loved it. First come across it when I was 17 in Dusseldorf. We were on leave after exercise. Yeah, and it wasn't chips. It was... Actually, it was. It was... What do they call? What do they call the slices of pommes frites? Fritters. Potato fritters. Although I don't know where the slice of pineapple came from. But that had mayo, and that was lovely.
Disgusting.
Heyman's saying, I think they may be required by law to hold that lunch break. I'm sure they did, but when you're responsible for the security of a quarter of the world's banking systems, surely you'd alternate lunch breaks so there's at least someone in the company if you need to ring. Right, okay. Bill and I was asking, I'm pouring this hydrocal into a clay mould, the kind of clay that doesn't harden. Is that affecting the curing? The casting came out kind of soft. Yeah, it is. It'll be pulling moisture from the clay. Yeah. and keeping it moist. It will come out soft. It will harden in time. If you want to stop that, give the clay a quick coat of Vaseline. Just rub Vaseline, yeah, all over the inside of it, and that'll act as a water barrier and prevent that, Bill.
You are a little smart ass, aren't you?
I have my moments. Do you know what? I'm so smart. I should write a book on it.
You should.
Do you know what? Considering I sit here and you guys just throw all these random questions, I think I know a bit. Right. Okay. Right. I've got a question here from Lee. This is 16 or 17, so I'm already at the half an hour, so I'm going to answer the questions and then I think we'll wrap up. Remember, guys, if you have loved the show, if you've loved the information, or if you've just had a good Sunday night getting you ready for Monday, yeah, links down below, throw a couple of nuggets. Right, Lee is asking, hey buddy, have you any advice on getting paint to stick to metal? I'm using things like 2-2 shell casings and vape customizers on terrain details, vents. I'm just wondering what's the best approach. Spray primer. Spray primer is designed to, one, go onto metal to prime it to take acrylic paints and that sort of stuff. It is literally what it's designed to do. Okay? Spray primer, what it does is it's like a plastic coat, but it shrinks. Yeah, and sticks to it that way rather than penetrates. But it has a little bit of a texture to it that allows the allows the acrylic to grip to it, which the metals, so 2-2 casings and vapes normally don't. The other thing that, especially with shell casings, and I don't know about vape carts, but the old gas cylinders and stuff like that, get all your bits, throw them in a big tub of hot soapy water, give them a good scrub. A lot of these metal things, they have a lot of residues, chemical residues on them. 2-2 shell casings will have core dye and the residue from the from the charge. That can affect the paint. That can affect the paint, how it sticks. That can affect the bonding of the paint. And it can also affect the paint pigment, discolouring it. So whenever you're using metal, yeah, always give it a good wash and clean off any chemicals, any residues that are in them. Yeah, and then spray primers are the way to actually prepare them for work. And I would genuinely, yeah, I wouldn't prime these pieces on your build piece. I would take all my metal bits and I would spray prime them while they're bits and then glue them on primed. Yeah, because the glue, PVA glue will work better to prime metal than it will to bare metal. Yeah, so they'll actually glue on better as well. And then just come along and base coat your entire thing, because you'll be able to base coat over your prime metal bits as you base coat in your terrain piece. But it's a lot easier because, I mean, you can base coat your terrain pieces in acrylics, but you really need that spray primer for the metal bits. So prime off the build in the case of metal bits, mate. That's my best advice for metal. Wash it. Use spray primers. Yeah, hope that helps you, Lee. Right, last question. From Leonard. Hey Mel, great show. It has, hasn't it? I've had a blast of a show, this one. Been painting model kits with enamel paint. Nice one, mate. Okay. I'm guessing you're talking about those sort of model kits? Yeah, because that's what you normally use enamels on. Yeah. What would you recommend for a clear lacquer sealer? Also, I don't know what to use for a wash, and if I should do it before sealing the first layer of paint. Right, okay. This isn't my area. Okay, model kits, enamels aren't really my bag. But, so I would recommend if you're doing model kits, you go with something like a Humbrol spray clear lacquer. For your washes, what you want is oil paints, dark browns, maybe a black. You also want some thinners, so mineral or alcohol. And what you do is you lacquer your piece first with a gloss. Yeah, gloss is nice and smooth. But once it's lacquered, you'll be able to basically put tiny amounts of your oil paint on, thin down with your mineral spirits or wherever you use to thin it, and manipulate it to do your washes. Yeah, and then once all the alcohol has gone off, you can give it a spray with a matte lacquer. That will knock the gloss back and seal the wash in place. Yeah. That's the best I can tell you. Okay? Off the top of my head for... what's the term? For model kits. I'm not a model maker, and there are other guys who do it much better than me. Yeah, I'm sure people in the comments will throw a few names for people who are good for the model kit stuff with the enamel paints, because this isn't wargaming stuff. We generally use acrylics. Yeah, quite strange that. Lee's saying, brilliant, cheers Mel. Oh, it's Miley. Yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah, if you need any of those lacquers or anything, mate, nip down the studio. I've got them all. Yeah, if you save you buying them, just bring your model down to the studio. This Lee is actually... oh, no. Right, no, that's Lee. I'm getting confused with Leonard and Lee. Brilliant. Cheers, Mel. I've been trying Vallejo polyprimers, but they're not cutting it. Great advice. Love the show. No worries, mate. Yeah, if you need any help priming any metals or anything, bring it down the studio, buddy. Yeah. Is spray primer fine for PVC? Yeah, I heard it could melt the foam. You'd have to really whack it on heavy on PVC to melt the foam. Softer foams, it can have an effect. It's actually not the paint, it's the carrier. Yeah, and so it can affect it, but only if you really give it a good soaking. There's a video in the Back to Basics playlist of actually how to use rattle cans on soft foam without them melting. Yeah, so I've shown that. Going to make a swamp board. Any advice for swamp terrain? Yeesh. I suppose one of the things that you need to do with swamp terrain is decide: are you going to play on the ground or are you going to play on the water? Yeah, swamp terrain is very bitty. I mean, you can talk about it. Swamp terrain is basically lots of clumps, yeah, on a waterboard. Yeah, that's all it essentially is. You can embed, you can do your browns and that sort of stuff. You can embed bodies and that, and have tufts sticking out. But fundamentally, if you're doing a board, where are your models going to play? Yeah, if they're going to play on the ground with the swamp in between them, then you need to lay down paths and a play space. Yeah, if they're going to play fighting through the swamp, then you need to make sure there's enough room on your water to actually place models on your water. Yeah, and then in the case of swamp boards, I would always recommend, because it's a large volume of water, going with a 2-part epoxy resin over an acrylic product. Yeah, it'll give a harder play surface to play on. You don't really need to put waves or anything on swamps because they don't really have the waves. They're more staticky water. So a simple and acrylic pour with a couple of ripples, you know, near edges and stuff like that. But fundamentally, my best tip for a swamp board, yeah, is decide, are you going to be playing on the ground, are you going to be playing on the water, or is it going to be in between? And make sure you factor space in for your models, yeah, so they can stand on that. I have seen swamp boards that have looked beautiful in the past, but have ended up being completely unplayable because they've only had a few elements where you can actually balance a squad of models. Yeah, because a lot of the times you forget it's not just about one model, it's a group of 5 or 10 that might need to be placed near to each other, and the terrain has got to facilitate that setup. Yeah. Right, so that's my best advice for a swamp board. I am actually planning a swamp board. Yeah, rather soon. Quick check of PayPal, make sure I'm not missing anyone. No, we're not. We've hit the mighty balance of £10. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for your support. For rattle cans, spray lightly an angle when the plate floats down rather than directly aimed at the foam. That way the propellant tends not to hit the foam so it doesn't melt it. Cat's saying spray down and let the paint... I tend to spray, direct, yeah, rather than down. Yeah, the reason being is if you spray down, any propellant that may fall and hit the foam pools. If If you spray at the side, propellant, the gravity takes the propellant down before it hits the piece. Anyway. Right. I think I am going to call it. I hope that has helped you all. I think this has been an absolutely brilliant show, to be truthful. Yeah. It has been a brilliant show. I've had a great time. Listen, guys, video out on Tuesday, Striated Rock. Okay? Live show on Thursday, and I will catch you next Sunday as usual. In the meantime, Eric's saying, thanks for the advice. I'll grab one of the mats from FLG and scatter swamp terrain around. That's a good idea, mate. Remember, when you make scatter terrain for your swamps, there's nothing stopping you at a later point adding them onto a board and doing a water pour and making a solid board. Yeah? Right. That's what I was trying to say. Right, Cat. Great minds. Right, I'm going to call it, folks. Listen. Been great. I will see you soon. Too late, Battlefront. Yeah, no more questions. Mel's bladder needs an emptying. Right, I'll catch you later, folks. All the best. Ta-ra.